Hello and welcome to episode 42 of Treasure Hunting for Nostalgia. This is Brandon.
This is Brad.
This is Nick.
So what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just relaxing on this fine Saturday afternoon.
Unfortunately, sunny Saturday.
Yeah,
Fucking bullshit.
It's
yeah.
supposed to be cloudy, isn't it?
Well, it rained all week, and they're like, "Oh, this is what the newspaper said. Oh, it's going to be nice weather for this
It's
weekend."
a matter of perception.
Yeah.
I heard on the news that El Nino was supposed to come to town over the summer.
Really?
They're already projecting it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's going to be a heck of tide if it does. I can't wait for this shit to flood.
Sorry, Rio Linda. Rio Linda is a city in Sacramento or in California that floods a lot. Those unfortunate souls haven't got the muster to leave, so
I remember sitting back on watching news at home because we lived in Del Paso Heights and just seeing massive flooding everywhere in Rio Linda.
and we were like, yes, the school's closed,
Yeah.
not thinking about the people whose house is getting flooded. And Del Paso Heights isn't like a hoity-toity neighborhood.
It sounds like it. Heights,
yeah.
like Withering Heights or whatever.
Yeah, Pacific Heights, but it's the ghetto. It's just a different part.
It's all good.
Yeah, we get the DiGiorno pizza man coming who stole DiGiorno pizzas from the factory or from the grocery stores off the truck, and he'd come sell them to the families for like $3 a pop.
I forgot about that. Grandma always used to find him too. Have you ever ran in with the DiGiorno man?
No, I'm not familiar with this one, man.
He only comes to low-income housing.
Where people won't call him out on what he did.
What's it? Section 8? Is that what it's called? Or
Yeah.
HUD or whatever?
Section 8.
Yeah. Section 8 housing. That's where you find all the wheels and deals.
For $25, you can get $50 worth of food stamps.
Nice.
Well, not anymore because it's harder to do, I guess, because it's on a card. But
Yeah, now the person actually, hey, can you come with me to the grocery store and use your card? I'll give you money for your food stamps. Okay.
what was the state that recently passed drug testing for welfare recipients?
I know that they did it in Florida. I don't know about any other states.
Yeah, I think that was it. Great place to start.
They're talking about doing it in other states.
It's a good idea.
Are we going to talk politics?
Are we going to talk politics or video games? This isn't treasure hunting for politics.
What about it, Aaron? Do you want to talk some politics or video game?
Like most issues, there's good and bad things about it. I don't know if you really want to go into it right now.
I like to keep my head buried in the stand like an ostrich.
Sounds good.
Maybe we could do like a politics episode. That'd be pretty
Can we get powdered wigs to wear? That'd be hecka tight. We need an audience.
Hear ye, drug testing in Florida. Coming to a podcast soon near you.
So you have some treasure?
I have some treasure.
That's hecka tight.
Do you?
Nope.
Okay, so my 2 weeks, is it going to stand or get abolished?
What are you
My
ta-
2 items that I avoid, my critical attack.
Well, that depends. Do you want to... Well, we'll talk about it after we determine who wins or loses.
Who wins or loses? How are you going to win if you have no treasure?
I've got, what's it called? Aces up my sleeve.
Oh, man.
Well, unless there are 3 aces, because I avoid 2 of your items, so. Okay, so this is Brad, this is my treasure.
Oh, I hope it's some more PC games.
Making its 3rd or 4th debut on Treasure Hunting for Nostalgia. Pokemon Stadium 2.
Oh, man.
Good seller.
Yeah. Dimple?
Yeah,
Arden?
of course. I found 3 of them there.
Arden?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's tight. What about your next one?
That's all I have.
I thought you said you had 2 treasure.
No?
No? Oh, man. Okay. Well, what I bring to the table is Abolish my critical attack you got last week. Abolish my punishment this week. I'll give you a shiny Caesar or a Scyther. A shiny Scyther, because I don't have any metal coats. A Genesect, a Meloetta, and a Keldeo.
I get all of that?
All of that.
Okay.
Tight. No punishment. I'm giving Brad some Pokemon.
I thought you said you just abolished your last 2 critical attacks.
And
punishment.
and negate punishment this week.
I'm a sucker for Pokemon. What could I say? I'll roll my dice.
I have a surprise entry.
What?
What is it? It's a 3DS game.
Super Monkey Ball 3D.
Oh my goodness! Where'd you find that?
At my work.
I've never heard of this game before.
Let's see if Nick wins.
I don't need to win. I'll just donate it to you guys.
Oh, cool.
I did look it up though. I don't know if you want me to say the price though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I looked it up on that price chart.
Price
or whatever it's
charting,
called. It's like $9.
Cool.
That's hecka funny. So you just found it at work? Just
It was out in the lobby and no one was there. We left it in Lost and Found for a couple days. No one claimed it, so I took it.
yeah, that's probably just a kid's game that no one wants to claim.
Yeah.
It's either there or it getting pawned at the pawn shop by the parents. Okay, so I'm going to choose my prize. Hopefully, I get some type of physical punishment. I want to get an ass punch.
I thought that was only if it was punishment wise. Like,
No, because I get to choose it.
Oh
That's his
man.
reward.
Oh.
You can abolish his reward.
So I
too.
could have gotten 2 ass punches basically. Oh man.
Okay, first roll. 2, ass punch. 6, void random item next week. 14, death punch times 5. I'm going ass punch.
Oh man.
Wait, that's not the. You don't get a punch in the butthole, right?
Yeah, that's the Shoryuken.
Oh man.
Brandon is in a doggy style position on the bed, awaiting his punishment. He's trying to do what's best for business.
You have to bend over a little more. Arch your back. Other way.
Other way.
It's okay. He doesn't know he's not female. Shoryuken! I don't think I quite got the whole, but I made him fall off the bed. I sprained my wrist a little bit. Excellent. That was fun.
No, it wasn't.
So just make sure this is still working.
It
Everything
is.
look good?
I feel like I have to fart.
Oh.
That would make it funny if you farted while I did it.
Yeah,
That
like
would be
all-
gross.
If I sharted all over your hand.
Oh, sick.
But then your butthole would have been open and it would have been like more painful.
Oh yeah. So the top 5 we're going to do. This is time for top 5. We've been kind of lackluster, straying off the path of video games. We're going to return to some video game roots with the top 5 side scrollers.
Of all time.
Yes, of all time.
So we're going to roll to see who goes first. Brandon, you get 3. Nick, 4. And I get 19.
Rigged. So you go first? Okay.
And then we'll go to Nick and then you. Okay, so top 5 side scrollers of all time. Here we go. When playing side scrollers, I like to the game to feel seamless. I like to have my hands become one with the controller. I like to feel that I'm controlling the character with fluid motions with no lag. Nintendo seems to always get this right most of the time. My number 5 is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I feel like this Nintendo is actually gave birth to the side scroller with Mario Brothers. I don't think another game's been prior to that. If it has, it probably sucked. Um, I chose this game because I could have went with Mario World, I could have went with Mario 3 or Mario 2. All games are great side scrollers, but in this game you're actually learning to control Yoshi, and within minutes you're able to jump over enemies, swallow eggs while you're jumping, aim an egg, and shoot it at the opponent. So it's very motionless, very easy to pick up and play, and it's a lot of fun. I also chose it because of the boss battles. With standard Mario games, you usually have to jump on an enemy 3 times, as far as the Koopalings or the mini boss in Part 3. But they have a way different way of going about the bosses in this game. They take normal enemies and grow them to a huge size, and you actually fight them that way. I like the twist on the fourth level. I think it's the fourth level when Kamek actually shrinks you, and you end up inside the normal frog-sized stomach, and you have to fight him from the inside out. It's fluid. You know what you're doing. It makes you feel like a champ. Then you look at bad dudes.
What's wrong with bad dudes? There are some bad dudes in that game, man.
It's just a side scroller I thought of that sucked that I could bring up. Not fluid. I mean, you could push the buttons and they'll punch and kick, but to do the high jump, you don't get it successful all the time. With Nintendo, you're always getting the desired jump you want, the desired aim you're getting, and it just doesn't get better than with Yoshi's Island.
Now, even though Bad Dudes was on Nintendo, you're talking about Nintendo licensed games, first party
Yeah,
games. Yeah.
yeah, like Mario, Zelda, Yoshi, things like that.
What I like about Yoshi's story is each level you got to get 100% on. Like there was you got ranked on the level depending on how much life you had left, which is a maximum of 30. How many red coins you found, which was
5 or 10.
uh, two. What was it? I thought it was two per. Was it 2 points? 5 points per coin.
I think so.
And then the last was what?
How many stars you? There were 5 flowers that you had to find in the
That's
level.
right. And the flowers. So basically, if you got 100% on all the levels, a bonus level would unlock, and not only a bonus level, but a harder level. Like, of course, there's a mini games you get each time. Like, say there's 8 levels in one stage. If you get 100% on all 8 levels in that stage, you get a little mini game you could keep playing over and over again, and also a hard level opens up like a secret level, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you played Yoshi's Island?
I don't think I've played that game. No, I might have to. It sounds really fun.
Yeah. I have it if you don't borrow it.
Nice.
What emoticon is that?
I don't know how to determine. I don't know.
Nick, I know he does emoticons.
I don't know.
It's like
I,
the
Solemn face,
I guess so.
I put bad dudes more like bad game.
and then you put the period underscore 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 period.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Yoshi's Island, great game. Good memories of playing it at my uncle's house when we were helping him move. We didn't quite help, or no, we were helping him paint or something, and we didn't help paint. We just hooked up the TV and played Yoshi's Island.
Oh, on Alhambra. Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah,
When I had to rescue Alexis from her mom.
yeah.
Sheesh.
Should have just let her mom take her.
Yeah. Well,
That was my number 5.
My number 5 was released in 1989 by the Nintendo Entertainment System that is. That would be DuckTales. I
tight.
just recently heard there's a remastered version available on the PlayStation Network and the Wii U Nintendo eShop, so I'm probably going to be playing it again. Uh, I played this game probably a year or two after it came out in the very early 90s. It was one of the games that I rented from the local video store, and I played it for like 2 days straight, and then I lost it, and then I never played it again. But I remember those days very fondly because I was playing it constantly, and I remember beating it and how proud of myself I was. So basically, the game is you play as Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck's whole point of existence is to be rich, basically. So he's on a mission to acquire these treasures to add to his fortune. Your only weapon in the game is a cane, which he uses to knock around enemies and open certain treasure boxes. The really cool part about the game is that he uses the his cane as a pogo stick, and you can also jump on your enemy's heads as you can in most side-scrolling games. Um, it's just a really fun game. It was also by Capcom, who created Mega Man, so you know it's going to be a quality game. Uh, Again, really quality music. In fact, there's a song, the theme to the Moon level.
Oh
I've
yeah,
heard that
Yeah.
done by a lot of good bands. It sounds really cool. So if you get the chance, I definitely recommend checking that out. That's pretty much all I had to say about that. That's my number five is DuckTales.
I actually downloaded the remastered version when
Oh
it
yeah.
when it first came out. It came out back in August. They were doing some end of August
Mm-hmm.
where each week they released a new game, and of course DuckTales was the last one. It was awesome.
Yeah,
The music is all remastered,
that's tight.
and they have voice acting from all the original cast members.
Oh yeah,
It's tight.
nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it again.
And first time me and Brandon played DuckTales, we didn't know for the first day. When you rented a game back in the day, you could only keep it for like 2 days, so basically a weekend, until Blockbuster came around and changed everything. But we got it, and we didn't know that you could actually use your pogo stick to jump on things. So we were just playing the game, just jumping and swinging the cane. And as soon as we found out you could pogo stick on things, we're like, "Dang, that's how you not get hit by the spikes." And just, yeah,
You said you rented the game, and then after 2 days you lost it.
Well, I didn't lose. I mean, I never had it again.
Oh, okay. I thought
I
you.
never actually owned the game. I just rented it for a couple days, and I
Okay.
never rented it again.
I was making sure you didn't lose it and had to pay back the video store because that would suck.
Well, if you accidentally on purpose lose it, like Ken
Oh
Chaney did with
yeah,
Ogre Battle, that was genius.
that
Yeah.
was pure genius.
we should do that. Find some places that rent out games like that and just.
You probably won't find any.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Maybe Blockbuster would rent Xenoblade Chronicles.
if you could find a Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's true. Number 5 on my list is Life Force, uh, made by Konami. Uh, of course, there were a lot of space shooter games out there that were side scrolling, but Life Force, in my opinion, was the best of them. Uh, just because there were tons of monsters in that game as bosses, and it was different. It wasn't just like huge ships you were fighting, but instead it was a huge brain with an eyeball protruding from its head with two claws attacking you. I liked how you got different power ups like the spiral, the laser, the option where you could get little side ships to help you fight, and then the option two, you could get two of them. If you had two of those with a spiral laser, you were almost unbeatable. Almost because random things would come by and hit you without much warning.
And if you touch the ceiling or the ground, you die
Yeah,
instantly.
yeah,
I like the level when you're like, aren't you inside a human body or something? And
yeah,
it's flying upwards,
yep,
vertical, and you have to fight a skeleton head at the end with eyeballs, and you fly through its rib cage.
yeah.
It's pretty tight.
And another reason why I like how the top or bottom of the screen usually had mountains to kill you is because so you don't just ride up the whole way across the screen and just bypass everything. They make you choose different paths and stuff, which was cool.
Yeah, make you in the action instead of avoiding it,
Mm-hmm.
like kids do not nowadays.
Yeah. Oh look, there's a dragon. Let's not fight it. Let's just go around it.
I choose to go around the dragon and save my dragon shield armor.
Oh, is that what the kids say these
Yeah,
days?
they have like diamond armor and all this stuff that I don't know, some ender dragon. Okay, so with my number four, I like to try to incorporate. When we do top fives, I like to try to incorporate a story into one of my entries. This is a story of Ninja Gaiden. Happened recently. It's story time.
All right.
Nice.
It's hard for a game to put me in such a trance that I don't hear any of my kids fighting in the room behind me, and I just concentrate on that. That's why I like this game. I was sitting there playing the game. My hands had the right amount of sweat on it. Kids were fighting in the background. I didn't even hear them fighting. I was just focused on the game music. I couldn't believe how far I made it. I was on the last level of the game. I've never made it this far before. So after I've never made it this far. At my fifth or sixth go at the level, after hearing this numerous times, That's the game over indicator on the game. I was midway through the level. All of a sudden, I hear, Brad! My trance was broken. I look up, and my wife is standing in the entryway with bags of groceries in her hand. She had gotten home from the store. Then it all started coming back to me slowly. The sound of other than the game came back to me. The sounds of children in the room screaming, my children shouting from their room fighting over some stupid Xbox game. Karen was annoyed, rightfully so. I was not tending to my fatherly duties. Apparently, Sam's headset got broken by Logan because Sam wouldn't let Logan talk to his friends on Xbox chat, which resulted in Sam punching Logan in the stomach.
What's what's Xbox chat?
The thing they talk on to each other, the
It's a
friends.
gay chat line.
Oh, okay, got it.
Gay box chat, sorry. Uh, which resulted in Logan with Sam punching Logan in the stomach. Then Jordan called Sam an idiot, and Sam pulled Jordan's hair. All this was coming back to me. It was like ingrained in my memory, and as soon as I came back to consciousness, all this started hitting my brain.
So you must have hit like angry dad status in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed. Karen's simple yet complex question was, "What's going on here?" Simple because I should have known what's going on here. Complex because I didn't know what was going on. I blurted out, "I got to the last level of Ninja Gaiden, looking for praise." But there weren't any praises to be handed out. It was the wrong response. I couldn't tell her what was going on with our kids, but I could tell her what was going on with Ninja Gaiden. The look on her face is all I needed to know. Game time was over. I turned off the NES, calmed my kids down, helped put the groceries away, then looked at my NES and then at the TV and said quietly to myself, "Stupid fucking Xbox."
Yeah.
So Ninja Gaiden is one of my favorite side scrollers. I've played it all my life, tried to beat it, got to level 6, the last level, didn't quite make it there. Super hard game, but also super fun. That was my number 4.
All right, so my number 4 is from 1988, released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, Legend of Zelda 2.
What? That was my number 4 too.
Nice.
I have a little tidbit to play with that.
There it is.
Sends chills down my spine.
Yeah. Now it's about to get savage.
What's going on?
Sound of an adult Link.
So that's mine and Brandon's number 4, and I guess it's Brad's number 3.
It's
as
my
well.
number 3 as well.
Nice. So I'll just sum it up and then we can just add on top of it, I guess. So Link is on a quest to save Princess Zelda, who's fallen under a sleeping spell. Pretty much typical Zelda game, other than that it's a side scroller. It's the only Zelda game, to my knowledge, that's a side scroller. It's also the only direct sequel to the original Zelda game. The other ones are, different quests or different stories, or maybe even the same characters, just different paths, I guess. It also introduced Link's ability to use magic. It also introduced, not really introduced, I think it's the only one that might actually have this, where there's like an experience counter. You can gain different abilities based on how many monsters you've killed.
Yeah.
You can choose to be stronger, do more damage with your sword. You can choose to have more health, which would make the monster's attacks on you do less damage to you, or you can choose to be more efficient with your magic, which would allow you to do use more magic spells with what magic you had available to you. Some people consider this to kind of be like the bastard child of all the Zelda games, but I still love this game. I have very fond memories of it, and I still go back and play it every now and then.
Have you studied the timeline of the Zelda games?
It's too confusing.
Oh man, like I was
It's
I was
hella
I was
confusing.
going back in there like basically if Link would have like failed at this time when he was fighting Ganon in
Link
um
to the Past.
yeah, then this would have happened. If he would have lost to Agnem, this would have happened. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I just I kind of see them all as their own game, but just to make it easier.
People I guess just like to put a chronological order to
Yeah.
things and they just want to know like the timeline and
Yeah, with Zelda, I don't need to know the timeline. Metroid, that I like the timeline of that, but not Zelda.
And I'm sure we told the story about having to play that game from beginning to end every time we started it because there was no batteries in the cartridge that we had. There's a huge hole in the back of it where
Oh
someone
fuck!
extracted the battery.
Really?
Yeah.
What a dickhead thing to do.
Where Uncle Ron told us he found it
On the
on
street
the street behind.
behind our apartment complex.
So every day, of course, we would go out there looking for Zelda games, but that wasn't the case apparently.
That's funny. So that's all I had to say about Zelda 2. Do you have anything to add on?
Just the boss battles were great.
Yeah.
Iron Knuckle was awesome.
Another game where the music was really good. We were
Yeah.
just listening to a bunch of different tracks on Brandon's phone, and he was like, "Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I could listen to that all day."
Yeah, just and that's basically what I do is put in my headphones and listen to Link music at work if I'm not listening to podcasts or stuff. But
Yeah, Zelda. The thing I liked about it is, again, it's fluid. You very seamless. The spells that you could learn and use is you could choose not to fight the bosses, but just get the item in the level and go to the next level. Every time you beat a boss, you gain a level, so you want to save the bosses until you're at a pretty high level. So, pretty cool game.
I like how there are tons of secrets everywhere. Like in the forest, you would randomly come to a spot where there was a experience pouch with the P on it, or a random dude in a house and weird stuff about bridges. And the game was hard. Like if you didn't have a strategy guide, it was hard to figure out where you had to go.
Mm.
Memorizing Death Mountain to get the hammer.
Oh man.
Once you get the hammer, though, a whole new world opens up.
Yeah,
I think that was the hardest part of the game was
Yeah.
navigating that trail to get the hammer. That was the hardest part for me anyway. With those dog face looking dudes who threw the axes.
Man.
yeah.
These guys are brutal.
And then they were because there was an orange one which was basically a pussy,
Oh yeah, he didn't throw it, he'd just swipe at you.
and then there's a red one who was what more aggressive.
Well, he threw the axes at
He
you.
did.
He threw the maces, and there's a blue
Or
one.
mace, whatever.
Yeah, then there's a blue one that was just
Was there a blue one?
yeah. There, I think there was
There were a
blue-
couple blue ones.
Yeah,
If you
I
took
know,
like
I know that there's the blue knights, but I don't remember seeing the blue dog face guys.
Uh.
Whatever they're called, I don't know. There's probably a better name than dog face guy.
the blue knights were crazy.
Yeah, they were. Shot the swords at you.
Yeah.
I guess I'm up again, huh?
yeah,
Oh wow, yeah. Like,
My number 3 is was released on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1994, Donkey Kong Country. Very simple theme to the game. Bunch of monkeys, the Kong family, are set out to recover their hoard of bananas. The bananas were stolen by these Kremlings. Uh, Basic side stroller strategy to destroy your enemies. You can jump on their head. They also introduced the ability for Donkey Kong to slam the ground, do a ground slam to attack your enemies. It didn't really attack the stronger enemies, but you could hurt the minor enemies that way. You could also use some of the Kong family friends to hurt the enemies. Like they have a rhino, they have a ostrich, they have this swordfish looking guy. There's also a lot of different environments in the game. They have these mines where you can go from different the different what are they called?
mining carts.
Yeah, carts. They jump from cart to cart, which is kind of fun. You have the underwater level. Like I said, you get to ride up with a swordfish and attack all the enemies underwater, which is pretty fun. They also have these levels where there are barrels that you jump into and they shoot you kind of like a cannon. They'll rotate so that you can choose when to actually fire Donkey Kong from cannon to from barrel to barrel. If you press it at the wrong time, of course, you're going to die. So that's a pretty fun thing. There's a lot of timing involved, a lot of teamwork involved. You can play simultaneously. They introduced Diddy Kong in this game, kind of a fag. But you can play with another player. I don't think you can actually play literally at the same time, but you can like kind of tag in and tag out with each other. Just a really fun game. Simple premise. Not nothing to take seriously, but it was a really fun game.
Yeah, you say not to take serious, but that game was very bittersweet for me because I always try to 100% a game I play, and that one, in order to 100% it, you need to get all the secrets in the levels,
There are a lot of secrets. Yeah.
and which is cool. But when there's a fucking secret like in the lower right hand corner of a barrel moving up and down, you're gonna shoot yourself into oblivion and kill yourself. But no, there's a secret there. How are you supposed to know that? I, it's just retarded.
That's how a lot of games are, though.
Yeah, but I mean, Donkey Kong was the first one where I was just frustrated with it, but it was extremely
I mean,
fun.
think about Mega Man X. How would you ever know where the Hadoken was?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of games like that, but I don't fault Donkey Kong for that.
Yeah, Donkey Kong kind of has a sore spot because I love the first game. But after that, I just started growing some resentment towards Donkey Kong. I don't know why. I started loathing him.
Dixie Kong. All
Probably.
Dixie
That's
Kong.
probably what it is.
I don't think she was in the original Donkey Kong Country. I think she came in the
That's
next
what
one.
it is. I just started hating Donkey Kong Country games. I'm like, ugh. Until Donkey Konga came out.
Oh yeah, wait when you could play the Pokemon theme on the Congos, and then you thought you were hot shit until Matt came over.
No, me and him actually tied on the Russian score song. I don't know what it's called. It's some musical song, and we tied. And the rock paper scissors is the one that actually we both got perfect on it. It was so cool,
Nice.
and I ended up beating him.
But wasn't he using one hand?
He was using one hand against Jose and Alexis,
Oh, okay.
and he was just like using one hand, and then he'd snap
Instead of clapping, yeah.
And he's the king of rhythm games. I don't know how he does it, but
Because of all that DDR he played, he used to play so much Dance Dance Revolution.
So did DDR come before Donkey Konga?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I was just trying to figure out what the what was the original timing game.
I think it came out in the arcades, the DDR, and then they like made a PlayStation 2 version, and you got to buy your own mat, and that's where
Yeah,
it took off.
yeah,
Gay.
yeah. But Donkey Kong, I don't like that hero. Donkey, what was that one called? Donkey, the one where you actually fought the monkeys?
Oh wow.
Ape Escape?
No, you use the Conga to fight the monkeys.
Oh, Jungle Beat.
Yeah, Jungle Beat. That game was fun too. But there was no Dixie in that game.
Who was in part 3? The Baby Kong or whatever?
Yeah, the stupid baby in his onesie.
And who was was it Dixie and the baby?
I don't know. I think it was Diddy and Dixie, or I don't know. It's making my head hurt just trying to think about it. Bringing back bad memories for some reason.
I think the problem is like Donkey Kong was originally he's supposed to be a bad guy. I mean he's always against Mario, but they made him into a good guy.
I think that it was like they couldn't bring the Donkey Kong from the arcade to be a good guy. They had to bring his grandson or nephew.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about that.
But I think it's still hecka funny when Cranky Kong is sitting there just talking hecka trash.
yeah, that is tight.
Back in my day,
Oh, there's a new Donkey Kong game out for the Wii U that you can play as Cranky Kong.
Nice. I don't know. I just wish he wouldn't smile so much. If he had
Yeah.
like a grimace on his face, I think it'd be more tolerable.
And that tie he wears.
yeah, you're right.
Like, what else he could wear like a spike collar instead of a tie.
right.
it'd be Gay Kong.
What they should do is in the new Donkey Kong game, they should have made it so you could create your own gorilla. That'd be pretty cool.
No, would it?
Yes, would it be like create a wrestler
No.
on SmackDown and you could make a Super Saiyan monkey?
No, because then my kids would spend 4 hours making a gorilla and not play the game.
Yeah.
My stance on creative characters are no. I don't like that.
You created heck of characters on SmackDown.
I don't like it though.
you didn't even like it.
So this is my number 3.
Bad dudes?
Huh?
You know what that's from.
The first Nintendo game we ever played.
Double Dragon. wanted to try to do a list where I didn't repeat some of my entries, but something just had to be repeated. And Double Dragon, not much you could say that we've said about it before. Awesome game, especially the arcade version. When you if you get a chance to get pick up the Genesis version, I think it's a direct port from the arcade. Pick it up and because it's pretty good.
Is that it?
Yep,
What are we on to?
two.
My number 2, and I'm hoping I'm not stealing Nick's number 1, is Mega Man 2.
That's my number two.
That's best Mega Man adventure out there. Metal Blade, Flash Man, Bubble Man, Dr. Wily Stage 1 music. It has it all. Great music, great action.
Did you say Bubble Man?
Yes.
Why'd you say Bubble Man?
I was named Mega Man 2 references and
Oh,
it popped
okay.
out.
Oh, okay. Because it sounded like you were saying pretty significant Mega Man 2 references, but when you said Bubble Man.
I think it ended when I said Flash Man.
Flashman's level was cool, though, at least. Bubble Man was a retarded level with a retarded boss fight with a retarded weapon.
Lead Bubble. That's the only way to beat the game.
Yep, it is.
Item number 1, 2, and 3 made their debut, which later turned into Rush. Not much more could be said about this game that we haven't already, but it's a great game to just pick up and play through at any time.
Totally. My number 2 is a Super Mario Brothers game. I had a hard time. I only wanted to put one Mario Brothers game on my list. I went with the new Super Mario Brothers Wii. It's the one I played most recently. It was released in 2009. Mario Brothers 3 was probably the most innovative Mario Brothers game. Mario World is really smooth. It's fun to play, and it's really nice to look at. And I haven't played Mario World 2, so I don't know about that one. But Wii was the one I played most recently, and again, it just brought up so many good memories. It played incredibly smooth. Like everything just does exactly what you tell it to do. They introduced the ability to play with multiple players at the same time. They also have this thing where you can go into a bubble if you're like having trouble, so that the other person, the stronger player, can kind of carry you along.
Basically, if you're playing with Matty G.
Wow.
No, I have a quick side note on that because I was going to mention that as soon as you said Mario Brothers Wii.
No, go ahead.
Sam, the middle child, he's actually really talented at games. His aunt and uncle Amy and Aaron would come over and play with him, and he'd leave him behind, and they'd get stuck in like a castle, and he'd be like, "Just bubble, just bubble." So they just put themselves in a bubble while he beat the level, and he's like, "You guys just need a bubble, then you won't die." And so throughout their marriage, when they come up with something difficult and they're working on something together, Amy will tell Aaron, "Just bubble, Aaron."
That's heck of fun. So the game is really easy to play. It handled very smoothly. You can play it just with a Wiimote held sideways. You don't need to have like a new Wiimote, or you don't even have to plug the nunchuck in if you don't want to. You can like shake it, and Mario will pick up shit or throw shit. There's also this hat that he puts on that has a little propeller on it. There's probably a cooler name for it, but for lack of a better term, we'll call it the fan hat, which allows him to fly up into the air, and then he'll like glide down, which is really cool. They also added an ice flower, which, as far as I know, it wasn't in any prior Mario Brothers games, which I thought was really cool. So you could like freeze your enemies and pick them up and throw them while they're frozen, which was a really fun thing to do. And like any other side scroller game, there's all sorts of bonuses that you can pick up along the way and secrets that you can find. Just a super fun game, and I really enjoyed playing it. And I wanted to put a Mario Brothers game on my list, so I chose that one.
That game is amazing.
Yeah.
You get 3-star coins in each level. The only thing I didn't like about it is if you die too many times trying to get a star coin, a little green box will appear.
Right.
If you hit it, even by accident, which I did one time, it's called the Super Guide, and it'll play you through the level, or it'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
You missed
never
out.
used that.
You missed out on it, like a little star getting next to your name when you beat the game, and
Whoa, that heckin' sucks.
I
So if
know.
you just hit it once,
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That does suck.
and I was just like instincts took over because it was like Super Mario World. You hit the green thing, you get
Right.
a feather for the cape,
Right.
and all I just like did it by accident. I was like, oh fuck, and I couldn't, and I hit it on accident. And I was so pissed with myself because I played through the whole game, got 100%, and that last boss battle, man, that's amazing.
When you're like dodging all the obstacles and running away from Bowser that was
Running
talking
away
about.
from Giant Bowser,
Yeah,
that was so cool.
it was cool. It was stressful too.
It
It's like,
was,
oh my, oh shit, oh shit,
yeah,
oh shit.
I have to play that game.
It's heck of fun.
it is. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I just got done playing New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, and
How does it compare?
it's new levels but same concept. I love it how when you jump you could shape the controller and get an extra little jump out of it.
Yeah.
Same 3-star coins. It has Star Road in it. It's pretty cool. Insane levels though. There's a level where you have to hit a P block and keep running through the level up and down and keep hitting P blocks on the way so it don't turn into coins and you fall in a pit.
Hmm.
That was so stressful, but it was so fun.
Yeah. There's definitely some stressful times. That's the case with most side scroller games where you just get completely frustrated. But that's what makes the accomplishing the goal that much sweeter.
And you have to give kudos to Nintendo for making their controllers so responsive,
Yep.
so quick, no lags. They actually help you beat the game in that aspect.
Hmm.
And so my number two was Mega Man 2 as well.
All right. Number one spot for me, I have to give it up for Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Can I play something?
Go ahead. This isn't from the game, is it? Wicked Child.
Wicked Child. This is the best Castlevania music I've ever heard. Let's just listen to it for a little bit.
Didn't this make an introduction in part two, Simon's Quest?
Part 1.
Part one? Oh, on level 3, huh?
Clock Tower.
Yeah.
Or not Clock Tower, but the other one.
Yeah. Here it comes. Not yet. It's like a waltz version you have there or something. Huh? I had a metal version on my phone. It's hecka tight.
You may proceed.
So, and it's a rare occasion where in a side scroller you get RPG aspects, you get rare item drops, you get different weapons and spells. This game has it all. Over 100 different weapons, armor, shields, one-shot items, spells, everything. It's got if you get rare item drops in a side scroller, I'm there. They got me. My favorite hero to play with, Alucard. Uh, some of the weapons I like getting were the Werebane, which is dropped by the hunting girl. It kills werewolves and minotaurs easily. Has a cool Hadouken effect. When I say Hadouken effect, you do the down, down, toward, and punch, and you get to use the weapon special ability. Blade Air, which attack determines how much game time you have. The Crisinogram, which is the enemy the Shmoo drops it. You walk and slice at the same time. It's amazing. The sword is so fast.
Do you know what the Dodo drops? Do you remember?
Yes, I have it on my list.
Okay.
Be patient. The Sword of Dawn, which can summon dead warriors. The Namakura, the description reads, it's a poorly made sword. It gives you an attack bonus of -5. The Fist of Tolkis, which is like a Fist of the North Star because this goes on and on. The rune sword, what you get from the dodo bird. Thanks, Brandon, for bringing that up. So many great things can be said about this game. There's a dark library which holds enemies based off the Wizard of Oz series, like the Lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow. That Tin Man's vicious.
He's a little steam pot engine, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
with axes.
yeah.
Every shield that you get has a special power. When you get the shield rod, you could use a special. Every single shield has a special power. It's amazing. It has so many. It has such long game time. You get the inverted castle, over 20 bosses you find in the different rooms. It's just the most incredible side scroller I think of.
And they've got the Lufia 2 esque familiars that you could get and power up. Those were the sword familiar was cool.
Yeah, everything about that game's pure awesomeness. I don't think if it was for that game or Final Fantasy VII, we would have ever got a PlayStation.
And I feel most people of that generation, the PlayStation generation, took to Final Fantasy VII as like the greatest game ever, um, which is up for debate, obviously. But not only do they think it's the greatest game, but greatest Final Fantasy game out there. Um, with Castlevania, I think it's less. I guess it has more weight to saying Castlevania Symphony of the Night was the best Castlevania game out there because it truly if it's not the best, it's one of the best because I really like Lords of Shadow. But saying you like Castlevania Symphony of the Night didn't make you seem like a
Fanboy.
or a poser, I
Yeah.
guess, because everyone and their mom loved Final Fantasy VII, but never played any of the Final Fantasy games prior to that. But if you say Castlevania is greatest game ever, you probably get a pass on that by me because it's truly, in my opinion, the greatest side scroller.
I missed out on that game. I have it, and I've just never had a chance to play through it. I really would like to someday.
Don't forget to use the coffins as save points.
Oh, Mikey
Pull a
B.
Mike Bunting.
You actually own the cartridge, the disc.
I'm pretty sure that I do.
That's cool.
I don't know what kind of condition it's in. I think I remember trying to play it, and maybe like it was scratched or something like
Mhm.
that. So maybe that's why I didn't play through it. But
And
I'm pretty sure I have it.
even though Brad has it at his house, I bought it on the PlayStation Network. I love that game so much. It's awesome.
I might just do that. It would be easier. It's so nice not to have a wire connected.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's probably worth the $10 or whatever
Yep.
they charge you for it.
It is.
So I missed out on that one, but I do have a number one. It's for the SNES, released in 1994. I had to have a Mega Man on my list, and I chose Mega Man X.
Yes.
Mega Man 2 is a spectacular game. I fucking love that game. But Mega Man X kind of brought it to another level. It kind of made the game geared a little bit more towards maybe what an adult would prefer. Again, it did have some really kick-ass music, just like in the past Mega Man games. There's this band named Arm Cannon who does a lot of video game covers, and they redid one of the songs for one of the bosses' stage. The boss is named Spark Mandrill, and the name of the song is called Mark Spandrill. I'm just gonna play some of it because it's fucking awesome. Fuck yeah.
Do they have a CD out? Do you know?
You have a few CDs out, yeah.
Oh man.
Great track.
hmm
And
Uh,
do they only do video game music?
I think so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I could listen to that.
For their name being Arm Cannon, I think they've only covered like maybe 3 or 4 Mega
Oh,
Man, so there's a
really?
lot. They cover a lot of range. You have to check
Hmm.
it out. So Mega Man X is actually not the original Mega Man. The X series takes place 100 years after the original Mega Man series. And in this world, there are Reploids, which is basically robots that are capable of thinking, feeling, and growing like humans. And occasionally, these Reploids develop criminal traits and they become known as Mavericks. So in Mega Man X, the main character is what's called a Maverick Hunter. He has a partner named Zero, and they're on a quest to stop Sigma from basically destroying all humankind. Pretty serious issue to deal with. It's not like going out to collect your hoard of bananas. You're instead trying to save the human race. So.
Get your bananas to use as a dildo on your ass, Donkey Kong.
Now, is it true? Going back to Donkey Kong real quick. Oh,
We're giving him more time than he needs.
now in order to beat the game, didn't you have to collect all of his get all the secrets, or could you just beat the
I
game?
think you could
Pretty
beat the
sure you can
game.
beat. I
Okay.
don't know. I think I always went for the secrets, so I can't really answer that question.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure you can beat it without it.
Maybe that was just a rumor that I
Hmm.
remember.
I don't know. So as I'd mentioned before, there is a ability for Mega Man to pick up the Hadoken ability in Armored Armadillo stage, which was really fucking cool. It's kind of hard to actually hit anyone with it though, because he can't do it while he's in the air, and he has to be standing still in order to perform the Hadoken. But if you do hit something with it, like I think one of the bosses on the in Wily's castle or whoever, I guess it's not Wily's castle, Sigma's castle or whatever. You can actually hit one of them with it and you'll kill it in one shot.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. So that's all I had to say about Mega Man X. Much love to Mega Man 2, but I went with Mega Man X this time.
I just tried to look up what happens to the original Mega Man in Mega Man X. Capcom has never addressed it.
Really? That's funny.
Didn't they address it in Mega Man X Zero when he becomes the enemy?
No, that's still Mega Man X.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Mega
Oh.
Man X becomes the enemy. There's a lot of theories of what happens, but like one says, X put him in the bottom of a pit. I don't think that's true.
It's not accurate.
He became a maverick.
I'd like to see that picked up, maybe where Mega Man and then X meet up. That'd be
They
pretty
do in
cool.
the Mega Man cartoon.
Yeah, I know, but still, in game form
Yeah.
and officially, that'd be pretty cool.
He's vile.
Yeah, he has to wear that armor so he doesn't get beat up.
I remember where I used the Hadoken. It was on that last battle with Sigma. That he had like his dog come and
Yeah.
attack you. You can hit the dog with one shot. That was so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't think I could beat that boss without the Hadoken on that one. It was
Yeah.
a really tough boss battle.
Yeah, first he unleashes his dog on you, and then he gets a lightsaber.
Yeah.
He does Hadouken him too, and it's just like dead.
But even still, I mean, it's hard to pull that off. It took me
Yeah.
a couple of tries just to do that.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you miss it, you're screwed.
It's way easier pulling off the Shoryuken on the
On Agile,
yeah.
that was
He
it.
was just sitting up there. He just,
Yeah.
Even then, it only took away half life.
You have to hit him twice with it, right?
Yeah.
That was cool too. Hadoken's better though. At least for Mega Man.
Castlevania. Yeah, just my number one was Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but there are Castlevania, that franchise has so many great side scrollers. There's the ones on the DS like Order of Ecclesia, Dawn of Sorrow. There's another one too. There's
Portrait of Ruin.
Yeah, Portrait of Ruin. Then there's Castlevania, Simon's Quest, Castlevania 3, Super Castlevania. Just, I think Konami just perfected the 2D side scroller with Castlevania
With the
games.
great enemies, great controls, and great music.
Yeah, even that's what I really like about the Castlevania games is the not only the music but the enemies. I'm a huge monster fan, and I just love seeing monsters. Like I'm playing through Lords of Shadow Part 2, and there's some awesome monsters in that game.
See, I haven't really played through an entire Castlevania game. The one that I played the most was Castlevania 2. and it's pretty fucking hard to
Yeah.
control the character. And that's one of the things that I really value in side scroller games is how smoothly it is. You can control your character and attack, but man, it's hard.
He's right. It is hard. Like when you do the jump, you just like jump. You can't control your jump.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. And like getting hit mid-air, you get hit backwards and fall into the pit.
Yeah, you can't adjust at all. Which
Yeah.
I guess that's realistic. You shouldn't be able to adjust in midair, but every quality side scroller does allow you to do that. But that's, I mean, maybe Symphony of the Night's better, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk controls, that's the one with the best controls.
That and the DS games. The
Yeah.
DS games are like Symphony of the Night.
mm.
I really wanted to put River City Ransom on my list because that was like the first game I think we played where you got money and you got to buy stuff with it, like massages and spa trips, like into the sauna.
Mystic Ninja.
Oh yeah, Mystic Ninja was hecka good. I love that game. And then Super Ninja Brothers or Super Ninja Boys for Super Nintendo. That was that's an RPG, but still. It's
ActRaiser. We talked about that before, but when we were emailing back and forth about the controversy of ActRaiser.
Because there's really two screens in that game. There's the one where you're building up the cities as that little Cupid character, and then there's the one where it is a side scroller and you're just mowing through enemies and shit. It's a really good game, but you could debate whether that's a side scroller. It probably wouldn't make my list anyway, but
Frankenstein was a great game for Nintendo. Have you played that one?
no,
Frankenstein's awesome.
I wouldn't say it's great.
that's sarcasm.
No, I really like Frankenstein. You don't like it? I just have good memories.
What about
with
your
it.
fucking Ghouls and Ghosts piece of shit game?
Like Brad said, I don't want to repeat myself. That game is just way too hard.
Yeah. TMNT 2. I thought that was a really good side scroller game.
You got to fight Krang in that. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
The arcade game.
I really didn't care for the Manhattan Project
Yeah.
Part
Yeah.
3. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Too many mutants.
Yeah, like they had introduced all these new characters and it was just, I don't like it.
Was Mondo Gecko on there?
I don't know. Forgot about Mondo Gecko. You remember Mondo Gecko from the Turtles cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the toy.
Hmm.
I don't remember the cartoon character.
Man, if we had Matty G on here,
He'd school us.
he's on all the Ninja Turtle stuff.
Tim too. Tim would be like Leonardo. You talk about as Leonardo.
Oh yeah. He did cut off plenty of foot soldiers' robot heads, which was enough for me.
That's cool. Any other honorable mentions?
I was.
What about Final Fight? Final Fight was
Yeah,
a
that
cool
was
game.
that was cool. I really liked the arcade.
Yeah.
Seeing it on the big screen of the arcade was cool. What about dishonorable mentions?
Oh man.
Bad dudes.
Sonic.
Demon Sword.
I kind of like this game, but it's kind of a shitty game. A game called Renegade. Kind of like a Bad Dudes type.
Oh
game.
Where you had
man,
to
that
fight
game.
this giant woman or something.
In the
at level
subway?
2.
There's one part where like you're entering rooms, and if you go into the wrong room, like it repeats everything that you just
Yeah.
did. It's such a downer.
Yeah, I remember that. And weren't there people on motorcycles you had to hit off their bike or something?
Probably that sounds right.
Narc.
Dark.
No.
They had Triple X porn theater on level 3. Game was hecka hard. The Simpsons game, Bart versus Space Mutants. I got to level 5 and could never beat it. The dinosaur. I think you needed Homer's help, but all he did was, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me mad.
Now talk about a game with shitty controls. Space Mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like it was a great premise. Like what you got to actually play as Bart, which was like, I think, worth the $50 when you were that little. Like I get to play as Bart Simpson, and I get to go around and hit people with bottle rockets and cherry bombs. That's pretty cool.
Mm.
Honorable mention, Friday the 13th.
And Nightmare on Elm Street, hand in hand. Oh, I was talking to Brad earlier about some crazy adventures I used to get into with this kid he was a kid then, he's an adult now, but a kid named Josh. Brad and I met him at a Dragon Ball tournament. He was 16 at the time. Really didn't start hanging out until a few months later when he was 17. We were about 20, 21. But one night, we just got real close, I guess over Dragon Ball. He called me up. Didn't recognize the number at first because I had a cell phone on. So he called 2 or 3 times. So I picked up. He was calling from a payphone. He asked if I'd pick him up somewhere off of what's that one high school? Is there a high school named Merced or yeah, Mese Verde, somewhere around there. So I went and picked him up, and he had this gas can with him. So I said, "What's the gas for?" He's like, "Oh, he says about some friend, uh, car broke down or something, and he had to give him gas." So we drove around to probably about 2 or 3 miles towards, I guess, Antelope-ish area where that Safeway is on Greenback, Citrus Heights-ish. Safeway and Citrus Heights.
North
So,
Highlands, maybe.
yeah,
Citrus Heights,
so
somewhere in there.
there's a little neighborhood in there that we took this gas can to. So I was like, all right, so I dropped him off, and he gets out and proceeds to go to the middle of the street where there's this long line of bushes, and he starts throwing the gas on the bushes. I said, that doesn't look like a car or a motorcycle, which you're going to fill the gas tank up with. So, of course, he lights it on fire and jumps in the car. I say, dude, what are you doing?
He jumped into your car?
Yeah. I said, this is arson. So, of course, I speed away. I'm like, you're getting rid of this gas can, you fucking liar.
Arson.
This is arson. I won't stand for this.
That's like when Michael Cole said, dissension!
Yeah. So we're driving down. I go to the Safeway, and I know working at Domino's, I know there's huge garbage cans behind grocery stores. So I said, you get out and you throw that gas can away right now. So picture this huge garbage can, and I pull
Dumpster.
Yeah, huge dumpster. And I pull next to it so that the driver's side is right by the dumpster. He gets out, and instead of throwing away, he just starts pouring the gas in there. I said, at least he's getting rid of the gas. So then he takes out his lighter. I'm like, get in. Before I can finish the sentence, he throws the lighter in there, and an explosion happens that forces him. It throws him into my car because the door is still open, and so I drive off. Coming down onto the area is all these plastic bags on fire, and I had my Honda back then, so these plastic bags burnt onto my car, and my car was going. So I had like a firemobile.
Jesus.
And so I'm driving with all this plastic flying off the car, and of course he's in there laughing. So I pull off, I turn left on whatever that street is by Greenback, and we end up at this school. And I'm sitting there, cleaning up the car. Paint is melting off from where the fire was. And all of a sudden you see police helicopters, you hear police sirens, and then so he's like sitting there like, don't freak out. I said, how am I supposed to freak out? There's a trail of plastic fire leading me to the school where I parked. So eventually the heat died down, and we stopped. But
No pun intended.
but and then we I dropped him off at his house. But that was just one of the crazy stories I have with him that he got me into.
Didn't he have you drive by this guy's car because he said that he raped his girlfriend or something?
No, what happened was I was riding out with him and his friend Ben. Ben is really cool guy. But we were driving around, and he's like, "Turn over here. This is where my girlfriend lives." That's what Josh says. Okay, so I park, and him and Ben get out, and they motion me, "Come on, park over here." So I'm slowly going over there. Josh takes this rock from his pocket, breaks the window, and his friend Ben throws a quarter stick it's a M80, like a quarter stick of dynamite in there, lit, and I drive off, and all of a sudden in the rearview mirror I see this huge car just jump up and implode from the dynamite. And like, of course, I'm naive. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know what was going on. And like you were right. Apparently, this guy raped his girlfriend, or that's the story you told me. I don't even know if it's true, but I think that maybe they said that to make me feel better and causing this mass destruction to this car. But it's crazy stuff. He never whenever he planned these little heists, he never told me the truth because he knew I wouldn't go along with it. It's just insane.
Yeah, that's just like you. Oh, at least he's getting rid of the gas.
Yeah,
He's not going to do
exactly.
anything wrong.
Exactly. That's how my naive mind worked back then. It was logical just to empty the gas out and not light it on fire. So do you think Daniel Bryan's going to fight Triple H in WrestleMania?
That's how the story's going right now.
It seems like Triple H really didn't want to until Daniel Bryan kicked him in the face.
No, I think that must have been part of the story because we know all the rumors of how CM Punk was supposed to fight Daniel Bryan. I mean Triple H. Maybe they put that rumor in there so then we would think that Daniel Bryan's supposed to fight him and that's the plan all along. Hopefully he comes back and becomes a contender for the belt.
Yeah, as each week it's looking less and less likely.
Yeah, if he didn't come out at Chicago, I was like, okay, he's really gone.
Yeah.
Because they need to build hype for the match. I don't think they'll throw CM Punk in WrestleMania without notice. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
I don't know. I love it, but it doesn't seem like they really need to do anything to hype the match. I mean, the event's sold out. I mean, they're getting millions of subscribers to the WWE network. Anyone who watches wrestling is going to watch WrestleMania anyway. I don't. I guess I sound like a pessimist, but it just doesn't seem like they really. Punk doesn't really have much leverage to say, "Hey, you need me for this show," or else people aren't going to watch because people are going to watch regardless. I think the people who actually like CM Punk are people who are like really hardcore wrestling fans. Like the casual fan's not going to watch WrestleMania just because CM Punk's going to be on there.
That's true.
So I really don't think he has much leverage, as much as I'd like to see him there.
They just can't have Randy Orton and Batista at the main event, though.
They're trying hard to make Batista such a bad guy that Randy Orton is now the babyface. It's funny.
That's hilarious.
I know.
But I was listening to the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, and they were talking about the card for WrestleMania. Did you listen to this past week?
No, I'm behind.
And the way Stone Cold is talking about it, he's saying that right now there really isn't one main event scheduled. Like the last match may not be Orton Batista. Maybe it'll be Bryan Triple H, Undertaker Lesnar. He's saying right now WWE they're trying to feel out what the fans are wanting to be the main event and then put it there.
That's interesting to me because to me, it kind of takes the luster off of winning the Royal Rumble if it's not the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's more about what the fans want than a fake wrestler winning the Royal Rumble. But yeah, I've been watching a couple of the older WrestleManias with the WWE Network, and a couple years ago, the main event was John Cena and The Rock, and neither one of them had any titles. It was just a random match.
So then they had the title match before that.
Say again?
They had a title match before that, like a championship match.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I think that the following year, they had a rematch, Cena and Rock, and that one was a title match.
Yeah.
One of them did have a title at the time, but the year before that, neither one of them had a title, and it was still the main event.
Yeah, I don't. Like you said, it kind of takes away from the winner of WrestleMania. Maybe
Royal Rumble, you mean?
Royal Rumble. It's like I don't know what they're trying to do with Batista turning bigger douche than he is, but they turned basically Randy Orton into a face without any effort. He's a fan favorite. It's growing like that. I mean, it seemed like he was shocked when people were cheering for him, and he tried to, cover it up and become more of a heel. But people keep liking him now because who wants to like Batista? No one.
Exactly. He didn't do himself any favors by winning the Royal Rumble. I think that's really why people hate him.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted him to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble, or at least even be in the Royal Rumble, and he wasn't even in it. And Batista was in the Royal Rumble, and he hadn't been in the WWE for 4 years prior to that. So it's I mean, it's one of those situations where it's the fans that are kind of determining who is the fan or who is the heel and who's the baby face, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Like I like that, but yeah, I don't really want to see Randy Orton Batista as the main event.
What was? Did you see Stephanie and Triple H come out? I think it was on Raw, like near the end. Stephanie's nipples were hecka hard.
Oh, nice. There was a funny you should mention that. I I was in a pervy state, I guess, and I looked for like Stephanie McMahon nude or something like that. And there was one clip that they have where her tit totally fell out of her
Oh
whatever dress she was
man.
wearing. Triple H was putting her into a pedigree, and all of a sudden you just see her
Oh,
boob
that's that
flop
one that
out.
I showed you. It was on Reddit. Remember at Claim Jumpers?
Oh yeah, I forgot
It
about
was sweet, dude.
that.
Man, she's hot. But
Triple H put her in a pedigree.
I'm sure it has something to do with the storyline.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't like they were in bed or anything.
Did she already have her implants?
I couldn't tell. It was the video was kind of fuzzy,
Oh,
and it didn't really set it up. It just showed her in the pedigree position.
that's unfortunate.
They looked nice though, or at least the one that popped out looked nice. I don't know about the other one. I assume it looks nice. I have a jerk of the week.
That's
Who is it?
awesome.
Fucker pissed me off yesterday. So, do you guys like your jobs?
As far as being at work, I really don't care for it. I get antsy once it like starts hitting 1-ish. That's when I really want to get out of there. So around 1:30 is when I can't take it anymore. And
Well, at my job, I'm pretty much busy from start to finish. If I'm not doing something that's assigned to me, I'll go and find something that I can do to
Make the
help
time
out.
go by, yeah.
My point was that most people don't fucking like what they do.
Yeah.
right,
There are very few people who actually like do their job and claim that they would do it even if they didn't get paid. If you didn't get paid, I can pretty much guarantee you would not be at your job.
right.
So my jerk of the week goes out to those that make work into hell on earth. I work in an office where there's about 140 workers, and I work for a department that employs thousands. I'm not really a social guy, but I do try to think the best of people until they give me a reason to feel otherwise. One such asshole I encountered yesterday.
Works there?
Say again?
He works there?
He does not work in my office. He works in another office.
Okay, okay.
I sent an email to this guy. It was just a polite request to have him correct a simple mistake that one of his workers had made. And about an hour later, I received a follow-up question regarding the situation and kind of like just a clarification of what happened. And I tried to keep it lighthearted. I was just like, I explained the situation, and I maybe made a little joke at the end of it and put a little hee hee at the end, just because it's work. There's no
Yeah.
reason to get all hostile, or I guess you could argue that there is a need for professionalism, but I didn't really feel like it was appropriate because it was just a simple thing. It could have been corrected in a matter of seconds. This guy fucking emails me back saying that his worker didn't make a mistake, my worker made a mistake, and how my quote amusing emails were unprofessional and uncalled
Oh,
for.
wow.
I was so fucking hot. I was glad that he emailed me this and didn't call me, because if he had called me, I would have cussed him out. Because there was an email between this, I had time to think about what I was going to write in response to him. But man, why do you got to make work less tolerable than it already is? It's fucking hell there. There's no reason to make it worse than it already is. So I was able to calm myself down and reply in a civil manner, and we got the whole thing resolved. But it pissed me off so fucking bad. I wanted to yell at someone, but so now I guess I'm ranting here to get it off my chest. But that's who my jerk of the week is. Anyone who makes work less tolerable than it already is. You're a jerk. You're a fucking asshole is what you are.
Alright, so that'll do it for this episode of Treasure Hunting for Nostalgia. This is Brandon.
This is Brad.
This is Nick.
Happy hunting!